So first of all, Merry Christmas everybody. Spoiler alert, I will put that actually on the video, that there are spoilers. There's spoilers in this, just so you know in case you're planning on reading this. I figured what better way to celebrate Christmas than to review the book that I blasphemously read pretending to be a Bible, which was in fact about lesbians in church. I was in church, I was reading the Kindle, pretending that I had the Bible on the Kindle, when really it was a book that's about lesbians. That's what I was trying to get to you there. Basically, I started reading this book and then I got bored, because I was like, okay, this is a really cool concept. It's basically, it's a modernized version of the Scarlet Letter, except for instead of wearing an A for adulterer, you are colored. And not like the me kind of colored, like you become purple, you become red, you become yellow, you become blue. And like each color corresponds to like a type of crime. So from what I remember, blue was like molesters. I think yellows were like people who had like thieved and things like that. And then reds were murderers or violent crimes or things like that. Not really sure, because they said like they were non-violent reds, so I don't understand what you would have done. Okay, so my confusion right now leads to my biggest part, like my biggest problem with the book. She wanted to do a lot, and it's not like the book was very long. Like I had it on my Kindle, so I know it might not, like it might have seemed even like shorter just because it was on an ebook, but it wasn't a very long book, and it seemed like she wanted to do a lot, and she summed it up extremely quickly. There's things that happen and you're like, what? Like, it's like the last Hunger Games book and everyone's like, Prim died? I don't know if it was just me. Actually, I've heard several other people back it up, so I'm not crazy. So really, my main problem with this was she was really immature. She's 25 years old. I understand that she was sheltered when she was growing up and all this stuff, but she gets like thrust into this world where all this terrible stuff is happening to her, and her main goal is still to see this guy who didn't stand up and say, hey, that was my baby you aborted. Let me give some more backstory to this. It's about this girl, and basically the whole thing is revolved around religion, too. So if you have a problem reading things, or if you're like a really religious person and don't need anything bringing your faith down, this is not the book for you. So the whole thing revolves around this girl who, her name's Hannah, and she's in this very conservative Christian family, and she starts to have an affair with her preacher. She goes and she gets an abortion, which is illegal, and this time that's seen as murder, which is why she's red. If you've seen the cover of the book, the girl's red. So they say that she murdered her baby, having an abortion, and so she is sentenced, and in trial she is given the chance to say, bro, this is who did it, arrest him, like, he shouldn't have been having sex out of wedlock, he's a preacher, like, get out of here. But instead she adds the 3 years to her sentence because she won't give up the name of who the father is and who the person who did the abortion is. The first whole, like, third of the book is about her and, like, the facility that they have. It's like a holding facility after it's called melanchroming, so after they melanchrome or chrome you and you become a certain color according to your crime, they put you in this cell and they put you on TV and people like watch everything you do. Like this girl was having to pee with a camera on her. Like I don't know. I'm sure they blurred it. I don't remember because again I started this book a long time before I finished it. So then afterwards she's released into the world and she has a certain sentence and she has to like apparently go in until she starts, because if she doesn't go in to like get her color, it's like getting highlights in your hair. Like I'm not white. Like if you were to get like blonde hair or something and you have brown hair and eventually it starts to turn brown at the roots, and I hear like people are really trashy whenever that happens. Yeah, that's kind of what it is, except for you go crazy and you start to try to eat yourself. So she has 16 years where she has to do this like every few months, and that's her sentence, is 16 years for having an abortion and not telling on the guy who did the abortion. Raphael, an Ninja Turtle. I stopped this book and then I stumbled across like this list on Twitter, and it was like the book plots that we're sick of seeing. I was like, oh, well, this is interesting, like, I'll read this and see, like, what kind of twist endings, like, they're annoyed with. And one of them, it said, when she woke, and it was, like, the sudden lesbian arrival, and I'm like, nothing in this book was pointing towards a lesbian to me, so of course I picked it back up, and I read the whole thing in another day. It made me finish it, right? So basically, I'm not going to try to spoil too much other than the fact that she ends up being a lesbian, but there's this rebel crew that tries to go against abortionists. She gets put in this creepy house with other girls who have had abortions and who have been melanchromed for all these different types of things. They don't take violent contenders. There's this thing called the path, and if you stray off of it, you get cast out of the house. There's these two creepy owners who do nothing but like torture the poor girls. Basically, they have to carry it like the people who have abortions. They have to carry dolls, like they have to dress them and they have to put them in clothes and like they have to give them hair and they have to give them names and they carry them around like they are their dead children, and it is supposed to punish them or like show them what wrong they did by aborting their child. I would kill someone. I don't I don't know how far off the path that strays. Maybe you'd end up some other town. I don't know, but that's my business because who the hell does that? There's just a lot of stuff. It's a heavy book, but at the same time, it's not because sometimes it's really poorly written. Sometimes you're like, whoa, this is like a masterpiece. I feel like if you are at all interested in The Scarlet Letter, you should read it, or if you're interested in anything that has to do with like extreme religion, like extreme religious groups, like hate groups and stuff like that, it tackles a lot, maybe too much. Sorry for taking so long to post. I have been reading, I promise. Maybe I will put some comic book reviews out there. Maybe next I'll do Batman Noel. The two other people who run this channel with me, even though Shelby has done nothing. I know I haven't really either, but Shelby. They joint got me Batman Noel, which is basically like Batman going through like a Christmas story or a Christmas Carol. Sorry, Christmas story is totally different. A Christmas Carol, and it's the coolest thing ever. And there's Tiny Tim and Old Man Crutch. I don't know his real name. Yeah, so hopefully I will get back to this really quickly, but maybe Lisa will be proud of me for posting today. Alright, thanks guys. See you later.